Awesome. So obviously right now it's back to school season and a lot of people have been ramping up when it comes to, again, securing traffic, trying to make sure everything's okay, but also again when it comes to lockdown and active shooter drills. I mean, we saw what happened yesterday in Minneapolis and
Right.
how devastating this can be. And I just want to know how EPD prepares for it, how they prepare the schools here in Eugene, again, just to give parents kind of some of that clarity of what's going on in the schools so that their children are protected.
Okay. Yeah, so Eugene Police Department, we train yearly on active violent incident training. It's scenario-based training that we do. All of our officers are trained that way. So our number one goal, no matter what it is to stop the threat. Our officers are not going to sit and wait for special teams to arrive. We're going to go in one at a time, and then as officers arrive, we're going to enter the scene. But again, number one goal, stop the threat, and then once that's done, then we'll go in and treat any victims.
How do you specifically work with 4J and Bethel when it comes to, again, their own training within those classrooms so that teachers know what to do in those case scenarios?
So each school district has their own sets of training. So in Lane County, there's several different protocols. Run, hide, fight, which is typically taught to local businesses, places of faith, community groups, and then run, hide, fight, same thing, but it's also Alice, and then also I love you guys. So certain school district has their own protocols, and we have certain EPD personnel that are trained specifically, including myself, that hold certifications to be able to do this. And then once that happens, we partner with the schools if they want our assistance to be able to do that. We do have one local SRO that's located in Bethel School District at this time, so that officer will train with them specifically.
Yeah, again, kind of going in depth with that. I mean, what specifically, like, what can those trainings look like? I know, I mean, every school district has something different. Sometimes students are involved, sometimes it's just teachers. I mean, this is something that has to be rapidly implemented as it's something that is, I mean, my parents didn't have to go through this type of training. Specifically, what are we seeing within those school districts and how they are trained in particular?
Okay. So typically what it starts with is the teachers and the staff are brought together to be taught in a large group setting. Once they're trained, meaning they learn how to lock down, how to evacuate, how to barricade, and then some protocols are how do you fight back. And once that's taught to the teachers and the staff, then those teachers will bring it back to their students and enact that in their own special classroom, because each classroom is different and each school is completely different.
And how long have you guys been doing this training, working with the school districts on this in particular?
Well, unfortunately, we know that it happened locally in one of our schools at Thurston, and I responded to that school at that time. So it's been in the community, but as learning and teaching, EPD has been doing it for quite some time. I came back here in 2022, and I've been teaching those schools and local areas and businesses since that time frame. But I also taught it in other Lane County areas as well. So we've been trained specifically on it, and we're going back obviously at least 20 years. But we train daily, not only daily, but also that yearly active events once a year, and then certain special teams train monthly as well that will respond to those incidents.
And obviously, how has that evolved and changed when it comes, like you said, I mean, the incident back in Thurston in 1998 comparatively to today, the trainings are different, but specifically, how are they?
Well, specifically now is we partner really closely with the fire department where we train, we work hand in hand with them. And so if there was an incident say a major incident, not only our incident commander for the police department, but also the incident commander for the fire department, they're getting real-time information as the scene unfolds so that way we can treat the victims as quickly as possible.
Obviously, parents in situations like this, absolutely, their top priority is getting to their child, making sure their child is safe. But what would your advice be to parents that are going through the situation and are wanting to get onto scene, but obviously police are there trying to obviously mitigate the threat and get everyone out as well? How those two trying to go together, kind of bouncing off each other. What would your advice be to parents that are going through something like this if that were to happen?
The number one thing is making sure they have clear communication from the school. The school districts have certain protocols in place where they're going to triage, they're going to inform their parents of what's going on. Number one for us is we can't have parents, as much as they want to, go to the school, because what's going to happen is all those parents are going to come to our school, which is going to basically prohibit our first responders to getting to that scene safely. So listen to the school for communication and make sure that they understand what their protocols are, because again, it varies per district.
And are there any changes specifically for this school year that you guys are making with any protocols at all? in heightening, more aware in specific areas, again, comparatively, like to last year, for example?
No, because we have been training and we've been doing the same thing for several years, and we have it down. I think we're prepared. We're going to respond to the schools next week, as everyone is. We're going to be out in full force, being there for drop-off, pickup, and lunch hours, and crosswalk. We've been doing that for several years, so it's not going to change for us. We just pay attention a little bit more, and I think it's also just not for the police department, but for the parents and for the community members to also, if they see something weird, you better say something.
Absolutely. Kind of one final wrap-up question. I mean, have there been specific drills that have happened, this year so far before school started? How does that, again, like there's specific teacher training, does that happen during the summertime, around when school starts, or after school starts? How does that look like within the classroom?
Yeah. So what happens typically at the end of the school year, usually in June-ish to August, we will get several schools will reach out to us to want us to participate in training. We also partner with different school districts as well. We just did one recently in Springfield that we had over 400 employees, and then we brought in all of our trainers to be able to help and assist. So it's not only just a Eugene thing, but it's also Springfield, and that's what's really important, is it's not just EPD helping EPD folks or Eugene folks, it's all the agencies helping other schools, because we want to keep everyone safe. Yeah.
Well, I think that's all the questions that I have. If there's anything else you want to talk about regarding the topic, obviously, with this coming school year happening.
Yep. I think one other thing, too, is all of our officers are equipped with trauma kits, and they are trained on trauma wound care. So not only as they're going into a scene, they're prepared to help treat the victims, but we will not treat the victims and get them out until the suspect is stopped. And then also is if anyone wants to reach out for any active shooter training, they can reach out to myself as well, since, again, not only for the schools, but local businesses as well.